What is up, Vault Dwellers? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for watching the video. My name is Carla, also known as Nuka Karla. I make motorcycle related content, which also includes camping, hiking, and your general exploring the wasteland on two wheels. I'm in my vault suit today. I've actually never worn this vault suit in a video, only in pictures. A vault suit is... This is all from a video game. If you guys don't know, the name Nuka Karla comes from the game Fallout, and this is my vault suit. It is a suit that they wear in the video game. Yeah. So today I want to talk to you guys about 5 things to know before you start riding motorcycles. At least these are 5 things I wish I knew before I started riding. And yeah, I don't know, let's just get right to it. Alrighty guys, so these are in no particular order, and these are just gonna be 5 things that I wish I knew, or 5 things to know before you start riding motorcycles. And I made some little notes here so I wouldn't forget. And the first one's gonna be,
is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Is that a serious question?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't use it, you lose it. At least with motorcycles. Practice, practice, practice. Most likely the motorcycle that you rode in the MSF course is not the motorcycle you ride now. So you need to practice those slow speed skills. You need to practice those fast maneuvers. You need to, you know, get to know your bike, because every bike is different. This is not like the lowrider. The lowrider is not like this. The Sportsters were not like this. Everything has a different learning curve, so you should always practice, because if you don't practice, you are not going to have those skills, and you want those skills in case of emergencies. You don't want to practice after the fact. I still need to personally go out and practice on this and the lowrider. I never went out and, you know, to the parking lot after the MSF course to practice. So do as I say and not as I do, because yeah, I need to go out and practice. So that's number 1. Number 2, buy used. Buy used, buy used, buy used. I can't stress this enough. I have bought 3 new motorcycles in the last 5 years. Ridiculous. Absolutely unnecessary. Guys, my husband and I bought 2 new Sportsters, paid them off, which equal more to the amount of our lowrider S, and we sold them, traded them back in just to do the exact same thing again. Do not do that. There is no reason that you need to buy a new motorcycle when it's your first motorcycle, because again, most likely your first motorcycle will not be the motorcycle you keep. Most likely you're gonna want to upgrade. It just happens. It happens to everybody. I seriously thought that I was gonna keep my Sportster forever, and look at me over here riding on a lowrider and stuff. I don't know. So again, do as I say and not as I do. Buy used. There's no reason why you need to be paying over like $10,000 on motorcycles you're not even gonna keep. By all means, but like when you end up finding and upgrading, you want a new one like the lowrider, go ahead. But if it's your first motorcycle, do not do it. Do not buy new. Save yourself some money. Number 3, the more motorcycles you ride, the more confident you'll be. I personally just discovered this not too long ago. Up until those test ride videos, I hadn't ridden anything else other than the Sportster, and I was extremely intimidated of like even doing test rides, of getting on anything, until I actually like forced myself to do it. And it changed my life forever, guys. You need to go out and do it, man. Go out and do test rides. They have insurance. If you drop the bike, don't worry about it. But you won't drop the bike. I haven't dropped the bike, you know, like you won't. You won't drop the bike. Don't worry about it, man. Go out and do some test rides. Get comfortable with different style bikes, bigger bikes, smaller bikes, sport bikes. Feel it out, man, because you never know. I honestly never ever thought that I would like sport bikes as much as I do. I love the CB500. Don't get me wrong. I love the lowrider more. But it's a completely different ride, and don't limit yourself, or just like, you know, keep to one thing, because you never know. You might love it. You might love it. So the more motorcycles you ride, the more confident you'll be, and the more confident you are, the better rider you'll be. So ride some motorcycles, do some test rides. Number 4. This one is something that I've never like really heard other people say, and it's more advice for people who are barely starting to ride, or haven't ridden yet, or are on the fence about like what type of motorcycle they should get. So I started in the MSF course. I rode a Honda Rebel, and for my very first motorcycle I chose an Iron 883. That's about a 500-pound motorcycle. I'm like super weird, and like I don't know, I never went out and practice. I didn't go to parking lots and stuff to practice. I just go big or go home. I went out in the street and I rode, and you know, I was terrified, but I like forced myself to do it, and that's how I learned to ride on the street. Because from the day one that I had the motorcycle, that's what I did. I didn't go to parking lots. I went to the MSF course, bought my motorcycle, rode it home, and started riding it on the streets like immediately. But what I'm trying to say about number 4 here is that I started off on a 500-pound motorcycle, and when I upgraded to the Lowrider S, that's about 600 pounds, 6 something, I don't know, it's heavier. So that weight change is definitely intimidating, but it wasn't as intimidating because I started off on a 500-pound motorcycle, as opposed to if I would have had like started off on this CB500 trying to go from this to the Lowrider S. I think that weight change is like big, and I think it's pretty intimidating. So if my advice to new riders, if you're comfortable enough to do it, go heavier. Do the heavier motorcycle, because once it's time to upgrade, once you want to upgrade, you're not going to be as intimidated trying to ride a bit like heavier motorcycle, bigger motorcycle. It's going to be easier for you. And last but not least, number 5. Number 5 is motorcycle fatigue. That's something that I never knew was a thing until I personally started riding motorcycles, and I don't really feel like people talk about it. It's just something you learn as you ride. And it's also different with different motorcycles. The motorcycle fatigue I get from riding the CB500F is completely different to the fatigue that I get riding the Lowrider S. Each motorcycle is different, and you have to practice riding longer distances, like in short amount, like, you know, in short times, like short time. Does that even make sense? Jesus, you have to practice riding long, you know, for long time in order to not feel that fatigue. This motorcycle specifically fatigues my neck a lot because I'm looking up a little more, right? Because it's a sport bike, as opposed to the lowrider where I'm kind of more cruising, chilling on an upright position with my arms up here. This one I'm more forward and my neck is kind of up and I'm looking upright. So the fatigue in a motorcycle. That's something that's never like really talked about. Not only that, but you get the wind resistance on your body. You feel the wind, and even if you have a windshield, sometimes I always hear other riders say, you know, yeah, it takes it away from their body, but now they're feeling the wind on their helmet, so then that starts pushing your head back, hurting your neck. You know, these are all things that you have to get accustomed to by riding, like, you know, little by little. Motorcycle fatigue, it's a real thing, and I like didn't realize until I started riding. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the 5 things that at least I wish I knew before I started riding motorcycles. If you don't use it, you lose it. Buy used. The more motorcycles you ride, the more confident you'll be. Start heavy if you can. Start heavy. And 5, motorcycle fatigue. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Hit the little bell for notifications so that you can be notified anytime I post videos. I upload every Friday. And until the next one, guys, you stay safe out there in the wasteland.